Welcome to Ascribe Accelerator. Ascribe Accelerator is a tool that allows automatic coding of open-ended survey responses by leveraging human coding. In this video, we'll be exploring how we can leverage expert coding, how to reduce cycle time using Ascribe Accelerator, the fact that Ascribe Accelerator codes large volumes quickly, how we can apply Ascribe Accelerator to repeatable projects, and that Ascribe Accelerator supports 5 languages. Ascribe Accelerator mimics human coding and leverages our expert coding. To prepare to create a model or an acceleration model, we first create our code book and apply the codes to responses. So you can see on the screen that I've got all of the responses that have been coded to catchy, memorable. You'll notice that the responses are completely coded and also quality coded. Once you are sure that your responses have been quality coded and that you have ample representation for each code in your code book, you'll create your Ascribe Accelerator model. A model is basically just a code book with coded responses. After a code book becomes a model, and the model has been trained by taking responses that were coded and creating classification patterns, we can go in and take a look at the training examples for individual codes. We could also edit the training examples if necessary. On this screen, in our training example editor, we're actually seeing those codes that have been trained and an accuracy score for each of those codes. If we see a code that seems to not have been trained well, usually what we can do is look into it and realize that perhaps this code is too broad to be properly trained. Other presentation execution mentions there aren't going to be a lot of links or classification patterns that make sense. So in cases like this, we would probably remove the training examples. It doesn't affect our original coding. Rather, it just affects the training examples for this particular model. Okay, once we have edited our training examples and we have everything in place and we train our model, we can actually apply the model to a new set of data. So we're leveraging the coding that we did up front. To use a model, you'll need to associate the model with the question that you'd like to code. In this case, I'm going to be using the model to code my Q2 under bar 2 question, where I have 1,731 responses. So all I have to do is copy share codebook from, pick Accelerator Coding Model, and pick the model that I'd like to use. Share it and hit OK. Once the model is shared with the question, all you have to do is right-click on the question, Accelerator ACM, and start ACM coding job. So now the coding job is actually running. So what we've done is taken a coding job where we created a code book and used it to code responses, and we turned that into a model that we can apply to any new question that covers the same topic or would use the same code book. So Accelerator works very well in instances of tracker studies or repeatable projects or jobs where you would have the same type of open-ended responses. Once responses have been coded with the Accelerator coding model, the next step is to check the accelerator coding. You can do that by using Ascribe Coder, response filters, and sorting, and pulling up the accelerator coding model coding method. Once the accelerator coding method has been applied as a filter, we'll search for any code applied, and it'll bring up all of the ACM coded responses. And our job will be to go through and find those cases where ACM may have miscoded something. We see an example of that right away, where the verbatim a dot received both don't know and nothing as a code. We could simply fix those responses and then add these back into our ACM model by choosing Add to ACM Model. So this is an iterative process where we continually improve the model by checking its coding quality.